Hello everyone, this is Shannon with Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, we're going to take a really fun spin on the interactive card and create a sticker card using Xyron sticker machines. I'm going to start with the Cookie Time combo. I'm going to grab 4 images from this stamp set, ink them up in VersaFine Onyx Black, and then stamp them onto some Bristol Smooth cardstock. The reason I'm using VersaFine and Bristol paper today is because I'm actually going to watercolor these images in. I'm going to use Tombow dual brush pens as my watercolor medium, and I'm going to first spray some water into my palette. My palette is just some old packaging that my scoreboard came in, and once I've sprayed the water, I'm going to take one of the markers and go direct to paper, coloring in the dark areas with this red Tombow dual brush pen, leaving some areas open because I'm going to kind of move the ink over to create a gradation on some of those open areas. So with my damp brush, which I damped with just getting a little droplet of water from my palette, and that just kind of activates that ink and moves it over. Now for my skin tone, I had to mix 2 colors together. All the colors I'm using are actually on screen. I just scribbled the 2 markers onto my palette and then mixed them together with a little bit of water. Since I have that color all mixed up, I'm going to color all the skin tones for all 3 of these elves. Now I'm going to kind of repeat this process with the marker directly to paper, and then with a damp brush kind of soften or create a gradation of any of those areas that I colored with the marker. And I'm going to repeat this process till I color all the elves. I'm just about done. I'm going to finish by adding some rosy cheeks to these elves. This is just the red color I used in the beginning, just diluted with some more water, so it's kind of pink. So now that they are colored, I went ahead and die cut those out with the Cookie Time matching dies. And now I have the Gingerbread House die. I also have some colored cardstock here. I'm going to use most of the dies from this Gingerbread House die set and die cut them out of these cardstocks. I'm just going to position the die, use a little bit of purple tape to hold it in place, and then run it through my die cutting machine. So these are the 4 die cuts that I have. Now using this die here, the same one I used to cut the craft layer of the Gingerbread House, I'm going to use it to die cut 5 of the little gumdrops. You see in the craft house there's 5 little circles or 5 little openings. I'm going to save the negative. See those tiny little circles? I'm going to save all 5 of those. These are all the green, so I want green ones and I want red ones. So now that I've cut the green one, I'm going to now die cut this house out of the red, so I now have 5 red gumdrops. And with all my gumdrops cut out, I'm now done with my gingerbread house pieces. So here are all the pieces that I've die cut so far. I actually want to turn all of these into a sticker, but before I do that, I'm going to first ink blend on my craft layer on the gingerbread house. I just have a Distress ink color here, and it is walnut stain, and I'm just ink blending at the top and bottom. This will add just a little bit of depth to it. Now I have my Xyron sticker machine, and I'm going to feed in each one of these elves. Just kind of position it in. You see the arrow there, you feed it in face up that way, and then you just pull on the adhesive layer at the bottom, and that will grab your little elf or whatever die cut you have in there, and that simply, it adds the adhesive to the back and turns it into a die cut. Really, really easy to do. I'm going to repeat this process for all of my die cuts that will fit into this machine. The only ones that won't fit are the gingerbread house pieces, the white and the craft layer. So those are all turned into sticker. I'm going to set those aside. Now I'm going to move on to my gumdrops. I'm actually going to turn each one of these into a sticker as well. The first thing I'm going to do is arrange these all in a row face up. So all of these are facing up right now. Then I'm going to grab a piece of purple tape and then place it right on top of my 2 rows of gumdrops. Pick it up, and you can see all my gumdrops are now stuck to the tape. To remove some of the adhesive, I'm going to grab an anti-static bag and just pounce it all over the surface of that purple tape. And now I'm going to feed it through the sticker machine with the purple tape facing up, which again is the front of these gumdrop die cuts. And then I'll carefully remove the purple tape, and each one of these gumdrops now have an adhesive layer on the back of them. And now I'll just remove any extra adhesive that might have got stuck thanks to the purple tape with a Xyron adhesive eraser. And the last thing I'm going to do to these gumdrops is just add a little bit of Nuvo crystal drops on top. This is Morning Dew, so it's a perfectly clear color. This is going to add some dimension and really make them look like gumdrops. I'm now going to set these aside to dry. I'm now going to move on to the Xyron Create a Sticker Max machine. This machine has a wider opening so I can fit actually both of these gingerbread house die cuts into here. So I'm just going to push them under the rollers, then turn the handle. That will grab the die cuts, feed them through, and that will add the adhesive to the back. And that will complete all my stickers. So I now want to add a little bit of sparkle to this snow layer on the snow or icing layer on the gingerbread house. First, I'm going to use the adhesive eraser and just remove any of the adhesive that might be webbed between the very delicate paper of this die cut. Just kind of rub it over and it picks it up. And then I have some clear glitter glue and I'm just going to spread it on the top. The squeezy portion is completely clogged, so I'm just using my die pick and kind of moving it, grabbing some and just spreading it over the surface, just on the top of the roof and the top of the chimney. I now have the rainbow panel die. I used the frame from that die set to die cut an A2 panel of white cardstock, and that creates a frame and also this inner rectangle. On this inner rectangle, I'm going to adhere some light green cardstock as well as some patterned red cardstock. This red cardstock just has a very light diagonal stripe on it, and I'm using the Xyron Mega Runner, just running some tape on the back of it and sticking it down. As you can see, it's a little bit too big, so I'm going to trim off the excess with a pair of large scissors. This is very easy to do. You just run your blade along the white cardstock and it will make a nice clean cut. So that's actually the background for my front panel. I'm going to take this gingerbread die again and center it here between the two, the red and the green layer, and run it through the die cutting machine, and this will die cut a place for my gingerbread house sticker to go, a very clear, obvious place for, and to indicate to the receiver that they should stick the gingerbread house there and that the card is unfinished or has an element for them to complete. So now I'm stamping a sentiment. This is from the Cookie Time stamp set. I just stamped it in some Versamark ink, and now I am applying some white embossing powder and then heat setting it with my heat gun. So just doing a little heat embossing there. And at the top of this panel, I'm going to do some ink blending. This is a distress oxide called Lucky Clover, just a little bit of ink blending at the top. This will add a nice gradation and again a little bit more interest to the card front. Now I'm actually moving on to the center of the card. So I have an A2 top folding card base mounted in my MISTI, and I'm stamping a sentiment from the stocking stamp set, just Merry Christmas on the inside, with a red ink. This is Waffle Flowers, My Pleasure. Now that I've stamped the sentiment, I'm going to use my ruler here and a pencil just to draw a couple of lines because I'm going to hand write the next part. So I have a green pen here and I'm going to write, "Help the elves build the gingerbread house." This is again just to help the receiver understand that they are supposed to complete the gingerbread house with the stickers that will be included below in the little envelope that we make. So now we're going to use the Love Notes die and cut it out of some vellum, and I'm going to now fold this little envelope up. This envelope is the perfect size for a gift card, and it also can hold all our little die cuts for the gingerbread house. In fact, you could even put both of them in here. You could put your little gift card inside and then the die cuts in front of it, which I think is a great card for a gift for Christmas, because it also is kind of a fun little toy in itself, or at least a little experience in itself. So I just used the Mega Roller again to stick the vellum envelope on the inside. So we're almost ready to finish this card up. I'm going to add some adhesive to the back side of the frame and just stick this frame right on the front of our A2 top folding card base, the one that we stamped and wrote on the inside of just a moment ago. And now I'm going to add some adhesive to this panel that we created and just stick it right inside that frame. Again, both were made with the rainbow panel die, so they fit perfectly within each other. And now all I have left to do is add the little elves. So I'm going to grab my little elves here, just remove that front layer that comes on the the stickers as you remove them from the Xyron machine. And now I'll just arrange them here on my front panel. I'm not fully sticking them down yet. First I want to kind of position them and move them around, or be able to move them around before I fully stick them down. So I'm just kind of placing them, not pressing them in place yet. As you can see, I'm picking up this elf here and kind of repositioning him and moving him. The important thing here is to also not put anything in front of the gingerbread house. You have to make sure that opening is clear so these stickers can fit inside easily. So now that I have my elves in place, I'm now ready to fill my envelope. So I have all my stickers here that I want to add into my envelope, including my gumdrops. The Nuvo crystal drops are nice and dry, and again, you could just fill this with the stickers, or if you choose, you could also add a gift card. I like to add the gift card first so it's a little bit hidden and kind of a surprise behind those stickers. So I'm now just adding all my stickers that I created and moving them around so they're all laying nice and flat. Then I'll grab the two little tabs here that the die cuts, the Love Notes die cuts, and just feed them through the two little slots, and that will seal that little envelope and keep everything nice and tight inside. And that completes the card. So I can hold up the camera and you can see the front of the card. We have that nice opening indicating that there's something missing there, and when you open up the card, hopefully you'll realize what you're supposed to do. And in that beautiful little vellum envelope, we have all of our stickers that we created, and here's the card completed, just so you can see or get a sense of how this could look once it's all decorated. And I think it's just a really fun and definitely a different idea or a different take on the interactive card. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. If you want any more information on the products I use, please visit Waffle Flower, and you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.